it's better to hold an asset that goes up in value long term than an asset that only goes down in value and never up in value.
Okay, we're here with my old buddy Cole. We're here on the Side Hustle Podcast with our co-host Quentin, our regular co-host, and Cole from back in the day. How are things?
Very, very good. Yep, living the Bitcoin lifestyle, and I wish that upon every viewer of this podcast.
No, that's a good omen. There you go. Wishing nothing but joys and riches, right? Just like the three wise men. So last time we were together, I was with a different financial service company. We were talking about finance, helping out with your business stuff. You were doing a side hustle back then, but it wasn't finance, was it?
No, it was hip hop, rap, performing and singing.
Yeah, performing, but even coinciding with that was your hustle. But what was your side hustle? You were in the construction business.
Oh, that was my main thing. Yeah, subcontracting in the tower construction industry. Yeah, so I moved up the ladder into managing 4 towers.
No pun intended, right? No pun intended. Moving up the ladder.
Yeah, right, exactly.
But working in high-rise construction, what type of work? Fitting glass?
So I was a superintendent managing the window and glass installation of the tower construction, concrete towers. Up to 46 floors was the biggest one that I was managing.
No safety rope required, right?
No, there was a heck of a lot of safety regulations. And it's crazy how much safety regulations we have in Canada for construction. I assume it's for a good reason, but yeah.
It is. Here's a side story. I was in the Philippines a couple of years ago when they were building Trump Tower. And the building I was in was right beside where they were building Trump Tower. And I was up 70 stories and I could look down. They were up at about 55 floors and the top of the building was open. And there was all these little yellow, looked like bumblebees running around the top of the building, but it was workers. None of them had safety ropes. And I talked to the guy sometimes because I was in high-rise construction too, forming, and I talked, at break, they'd be down on the sidewalk out on the street eating their lunches, their packed lunches. And I talked to him again. He said, yeah, 1 guy a week would die on the job site, either falling or some type of work-related injury. And it just shows the difference in countries, the safety precautions that you take. I remember we had to be roped off within like 20 feet of the property. They wanted you geared up before you got on the elevator. They check if you had your rope and harness, parachute.
That might be a good intro for our sponsor, Mr. Insurance. Get life insurance.
Yeah. But here's the thing. That building got finished and you never heard a word about all the people that died building that building. The Trump Tower in Makati, right beside Manila.
Well, Cole, you mentioned before we're coming online that you're up in Whistler, between Vancouver and Whistler. I was up doing the Sea to Sky Highway Drive yesterday, going to Squamish. I hiked the Chief on like the hottest day of the year for some reason. But anyway, on the way there driving up, these motorcycles just took off past us, like speeding in and out of cars. And my friend that I was with, she was like, one of those guys is going to get hit and probably die at some point. On our way back, we actually witnessed the accident. A motorcycle got smoked by a car and backed up traffic for about 2 hours on the Sea to Sky Highway. So, yeah.
Oh my gosh, that is crazy.
Yeah, wow. Really insane. So there's a sponsor for life insurance right there.
Yeah, definitely. Wow.
Cole, bring us up to speed. Parallel now. It's been a few years. I saw a few of your videos rapping, some epic performances. Bring us parallel, how you got into Coinos.io. Let us know about that, but also parallel your passion, rapping. Where does that come?
Yeah, for sure. So I started investing in cryptocurrency in 2015. And I thought it was a scam at first. I just didn't understand it. That was my problem. And then the idea popped into my head around 2020 or 2019, 2020. Hey, the thought was like, maybe if I just learn to understand it, and maybe I might might do well at it because I kept seeing certain people saying it was a scam, it's a scam. And I decided to take action on the thought of just trying to understand it. Very glad I did. The timing was impeccable. I cannot claim that I knew the timing was perfect, but I did get in at a really good time. Did really well in 2021. Got really into crypto mining, Bitcoin mining as well. I have a mining operation right now in a commercial space as we speak. I've been mining consistently for years. Great learning experience, good way to make some passive income on the side. You have to have a special power situation though to do extra well at it. And I help other people now one-on-one get involved with cryptocurrency, helping them attain financial freedom one-on-one or in groups. I host 4 to 5 meetups in Vancouver per month on average, ranging from 10 people to 250. We had 300 RSVPs at one of our events last year, but only about, I think, 200 to 250 showed up. I got video footage of all of this on our Coinos.io link tree. And so I'm focusing a lot on that, helping other people attain financial freedom, because a lot of people want freedom, okay? Now, if you want freedom, finances are a big part of that. You can't really have true freedom without your finances in place. Very well structured, you know? So my focus is on that. And then on the side with my music, it's hip hop, rap, and singing. And what I'm doing is when I'm recording, I spend a lot of time tuning my vocals to make it sound like a lot of very popular music today. The reason for that is because my message is not the same as the most popular music today. The most popular music today talks about some very negative things, but they mask it as something positive. So I talk about those same things, but I have an underlying message that your life is actually better without it. But I don't blatantly say it because I don't want those viewers to hear my music and then shut it off right away. I want them to listen to it at first, and then they'll be surprised with an underlying message throughout the song in the end of it, right? Not the end, but throughout the song.
Nice.
I'm in recovery. I'm a recovered alcoholic addict since April 3rd, 2012. That was my last drink, drug, all that stuff, and smoke.
Congratulations.
And so I talk about that. Yeah, thank you. No, thank you. It's all by the grace of God, of course. A higher power, God, universe, whatever you want to label it as. For me, I call my higher power God. I pray to God. Some people just call it their higher power, the universe. You do you, to each their own. And that's what keeps me sober today. I can go anywhere. I can go to a full moon party if I want and be okay. Not that I will, but I could. I'm out and about all the time. Like even Quentin on the call right now, he witnesses. I go out and I'm out late having fun with everybody. Even when everyone around us is drinking alcohol, having a good time, I can have just as much fun as them as well. And I'm drinking a spritzer, non-alcoholic spritzer.
I haven't had a drink since 2000.
That is amazing.
Actually, 1999.
I didn't know that.
In the 20th century, I have not had a drink.
That I didn't know that about you. That's super cool. Good for you.
So I know the feeling.
I went 3 years no alcohol when I was living in Korea, which is pretty hard to do. It's a pretty big drinking culture there. But yeah, I did 3 years, and I don't drink that much. Socially, I have a beer now and then, but that's about it.
Good for you. And I always tell people, like, all the power to you. If you're able to drink occasionally, if you're able to drink in moderation, I say go for it, then do it. There's no rules against it, but some people don't think they have a problem when they actually do. And for me, I was afraid of death. I wanted to be successful in life. And I want a lot of what life has to offer. That's why I'm multi-skilled, right? Because I want to really soak up what life can offer. And there's a lot of stuff we can do.
Yeah, that's amazing, man. Good for you. I think that personal growth and development, is a very, part of your guys' success, right? Rob has a background in athletics, boxing, and taking physical fitness seriously, and yourself too with your talents. I want to circle back real quick to your Bitcoin exposure in 2015. How much was it then when you got involved?
Yeah, I think my first Bitcoin I purchased was maybe $300, $350, something along those lines.
Yeah.
And I remember looking at it and at first, and it was $450, and I was like, "No, right, that's way too expensive. I'm not going to buy it." And then I just waited, then it was $480, and then I waited like a few months later. Then it went down to like $350 or something like that, and then I bought it. Yeah, and I thought I got scammed actually. when I bought that Bitcoin, because I didn't know how to withdraw it from that wallet. But I didn't get scammed. It's just because it was so complicated at that time that it just wasn't easy enough to figure out how to withdraw. So I just let it sit in there for years, thinking I got scammed. And I was telling people I got scammed by Bitcoin, but I didn't get scammed. I just
as it was going up and up and up and up and up.
That's funny. That's funny.
Yeah, totally.
My experience was a little bit after you, but I was in Korea at the time, and there was a big crypto buzz there. So when I got involved 2016, end of 2016, right before the big bull market in 2017, Bitcoin was like $900. And my biggest regret is just not buying way more. And Ethereum was like $14. And I think my second or third podcast episode, I was telling people to buy it then, and not many people did until it got, a lot more mainstream and popular.
Yeah,
I got to
social
practice
media.
what we preach sometimes. We have to practice what we preach. Live, breathe, eat what we're preaching.
Yeah.
Yeah,
like
true.
Cole preaches God and the gospel, and he lives it, breathes it, eats it. It's Coinos, right?
Coinos. Yeah, so it's
you should put that
Coinos.
soft, to make a sound. You put the little U on top of the O. That would be a great logo, because then we can pronounce it properly.
So what language does that U come from?
That's called the
That
soft
U on
O.
top of it. Okay, and then is that in like the Spanish language?
The straight line, Spanish or French, but the straight line is os, Coinos, and the soft is Coinos, the soft O at the end.
Yeah, I think they both are acceptable, but I think Coinos is the more popular one. Some people just say Coinos because it's coin operating system, right? That's what the word comes from, but Coinos is actually the most proper way to say it. Yeah.
Right, well, you told us a bit about the rapping, where you've come along. We'll hear one or two of those big rap success stories later, but tell us more about Coinos. How does somebody get involved? How do they reach out to get educated? You've been learning this for many years, and what we like to do is give some value to listeners so that they can get excited about it and reach out to you.
Absolutely. Yeah, so you can go to coinos.io, and then at the bottom of the homepage, there is a link tree, which just has all of our social media links there to get a hold of us. Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, we have our email, everything is there. At the top of the homepage, there's a button that says Start in Seconds. So you can literally create a wallet with Coinos in less than 10 seconds. You just go to coinos.io, you click that big black button on the top of the home screen, and you're in. We are not an app that you download on the App Store. We like it that way for security purposes for the user. So you, Quentin and Robert, if you created a Coinos wallet right now, you don't need to download anything, which makes it safer for you. We don't want to be on an app store because that opens us up to the risk of being censored and being taken off of the app store. So when any company has a risk of being censored, that means they're not decentralized. That means they are centralized and controlled by the app store owner, founder. With Play is Google, Apple App Store is obviously Apple. So also when we do updates on Coinos, you know how when you have an app on your phone and whenever there's an update, you have to re-download it? Not re-download it, but you got to press the update button, right? In my opinion, that's kind of annoying. It's annoying when I have to do it because I have a lot of apps. But with us, you don't have to do that. The update happens automatically because it's just a website. So if people want to have the same effect as an app, like a button on your home screen, that's very easy. You just go to your bookmark and you press the button.
But it's a web-based app.
It's a web app, correct. So you just, in your browser, Google or Safari, you just press the button, add to home screen, and then it gives you a button on your home screen in the exact same effect as an app. So you can use it like, you won't notice it's not an app, if you know what I'm saying, right? If you use it that way. Now, it is the lowest fees. It is the lowest cost Bitcoin wallet in the world. 0.1% of a fee only when you withdraw your Bitcoin from Coinos into a Bitcoin wallet, external Bitcoin wallet. But Coinos operates with normal Bitcoin, which is called on-chain. That's normal Bitcoin that everyone knows. Then there's Lightning, which is a layer 2 network of Bitcoin. So it's still Bitcoin, but it's operating on the Lightning network. And then there's the Liquid network, which is just another layer 2 of Bitcoin. So there's 3 networks on Coinos, but you don't need to understand those networks. If you have $5 on your Coinos wallet, it's $5 worth of Bitcoin, whether it's Lightning, Liquid, or normal Bitcoin. You can just send your $5 on Coinos to a normal Bitcoin wallet, Lightning wallet, or Liquid.
Or
We do that.
Prince. Or
A
Nigerian.
Nigerian prince that has a Bitcoin Lightning or Liquid wallet. So, and then now what our focus is you can use Coinos just as an individual user, and you can also use it as a merchant. That's our main focus, is merchant adoption, setting up businesses to accept Bitcoin as a payment option. So you go into a convenience store or a restaurant. So the waitress will come with their tablet. They have tablets already in most restaurants in Vancouver, and they show you the QR code of the restaurant owner's Coinos wallet.
So Quentin, actually, we go to the comedy club in New West sometimes here, New Westminster, British Columbia. And just up the street from our main office on Columbia Street, there's Shawarma Corner. And Quentin actually had one in there. You stopped there one time for a shawarma, Quentin, and they actually accept Coinos.
Yeah, it's cool, man. And like, I think we have a mutual friend too, Scott Deedles. We were talking about him as well. You know, like there's all these new platforms and kind of movements out there in this new currency, because everything's going digital. Restaurant owners are basically getting on board because they're realizing if they don't, a lot of people, it's a good way for you to educate them about the space and this new currency, because a lot of people want to get involved, they just don't know how, and that's where you come in. And what's the response when you do talk with Canadian business owners about your service? Are they pretty on board with it, or what's kind of their conversation or experience with it?
Yeah, so I've approached hundreds of businesses, and I would say overall the success rate of them coming on board with Bitcoin payments is much less than 10%, maybe even 5%, 6%, maybe even less, honestly, of the ones who say yes, because they just don't understand, right? Even when I tell them, and I'm doing my best to simplify it as much as possible, tell them the bullet points of what store owners care about the most. What is the thing that business owners care more about than anything else? It's profit. What's going to raise their sales? What's going to raise their profits? So anyone that understands what I'm saying, they always say yes. A lot of people get scared about the idea of Bitcoin in general because they literally don't understand it. What I try to focus on is showing people how broken the current system is. People are delusional if they think they can trust the dollar. They think they can trust their bank in most cases. In most cases, right? Now I show people why Bitcoin's a better store of value than dollars. Dollars only go down in value. Bitcoin only goes up in value when you zoom out. I would say when in doubt, zoom out, right? So when I tell store owners this kind of stuff, I just let them know that banks run on fractional reserve banking. Fractional reserve banking is a pretty broken system that is on the brink of failure.
Very close. Very close.
Yeah, very close, right?
Yeah, in the finance industry, you know, we keep our finger on the pulse a little bit. You know, we do accounting, we do insurance, investments, mortgages, but traditional investments. And the way I make the analogy is, you know, like banks, there's many banks. You can go to any bank and cash your money, right? And there's different currencies around the world that's crypto, but I think it's educating people. I have a story I tell. I got invited out early Bitcoin days to talk about Canada Revenue and their take on Bitcoin. And I did some research and Canada Revenue wasn't even sure what it was about, but I use this story. I have this.
What is it?
It's a loonie. Can you see it on the screen? Because we have the background. So this loonie is still in the case. It's a mint. It's a mint loonie. My grandmother gave this to me, and I got to keep looking at 1987 when they first came out. And she gave one to me and my brothers and sisters. She gave us each one. She said, "Keep this loonie. Never give it to anybody. Never." I got 2 of them. I don't know which brother I got it from, but I got 2 of them. And here it is, 1987. To now is how many years? 37 years. So almost 40 years. Just doing some quick math. Almost 40 years. If I go into the dollar store, how much is that worth? It's worth $1. I could buy half a chocolate bar. But almost 40 years ago, I could buy a chocolate bar, a Coke, and a hamburger for that $1.
Now, maybe even more.
Yeah, and here's the other thing, Cole, to make the analogy to Bitcoin and the cryptocurrency. What if my grandmother got this coin from the Queen? Now how much is it worth? You can buy them on eBay for $30 still in the case. You could get $30 for it. It's still only $1. Like it's one unit, right? It's $1. But what if the queen gave it to her? Now how much is it worth? What if she got a picture of the queen giving it to her? What if she framed that picture and put that coin in the picture and put it on a wall mount? Now how much is it worth? So that's the analogy I make to cryptocurrency. It's still $1, but it's what somebody will pay for it, and the market drives it up, but there's only an infinite amount of crypto. And that's all I know about crypto, man. That's my analogy.
Yeah. Well, yeah. So the thing with crypto is that people think it's a giant Ponzi. Like a lot of people think it's just a Ponzi thing, right? So when people say that, they're saying that because the only way crypto goes up is people buying it, and the only way crypto goes down is people selling it. You know what else that's true for? Gold, stocks, silver.
Items
Quentin had the best answer. Everything.
Yeah, but everything does have an intrinsic value, like my loonie.
So here's my first experience with it. I wasn't looking at Bitcoin as an investment. I was actually in the Philippines, and I was trying to buy some land there, and I needed to move a big chunk of Canadian dollars to the Philippines, and it was going to take over a week. There was a ton of fees for that. I met this other local real estate investor there, and I said, how do you do these big lump sums for property? And he says, I do it all through Bitcoin.
We take crypto, sir. We take crypto, sir.
Yeah, and it was actually a Canadian guy.
I need your wallet, sir. I need your wallet code, sir.
And then I said, I'm going to take you out for dinner, and I want you to tell me everything about this because I've been wanting to get involved. And we did. That was the guy that I had on my podcast earlier. But my biggest regret was not putting more into it at the time. Because like I said, Bitcoin was about $900. And then it just went like, what's it actually peaked at, Cole? What's the top that it's hit so far?
About 72.5-ish, around that area. 72 American, 72,500 American.
So almost So like the 90 grand Canadian.
Actually 100 Canadian.
It hit 100?
It made it past and went over 100 grand per coin Canadian.
Crazy.
Now people think that that's the all-time high of Bitcoin. People think that, but 99% of people, in my opinion, based on because I talk to a lot of different kinds of people, right? A lot of various different kinds of people in various different areas of the world when I travel. And 99% of people forget to look at the inflation adjusted numbers. Bitcoin's real all-time high is going to be about 79,000.
That'd be interesting to see an index chart adjusted to inflation, to see how it's outpaced inflation, because it will always continue to go up. I'm not saying that to pitch Coinos for you, but here's a question for you, Cole. We're talking about your business specifically. We got a lot of history. Quentin talks about his Bitcoin story all the time. You know, it has value to people that are trying to get into the market, but specifically for a store owner, they can accumulate, let's say, fractions of Bitcoin when they make a sale, and they can keep it in their wallet, I'm assuming, and that can increase in value, or they can go out and spend it somewhere else. There's another analogy I have is a barter exchange, where people can go on a barter exchange. So I think, the ones that started in that industry had an uphill battle, but I think you're coming in midway to the battle. I'm looking at the map on your website, which anybody can go to, coinos.io, and we'll put the link in the chat, and we'll put your story and bio in there, Cole. But store owners wanting to come on, it's not just for store owners. It could be for contractors. It could be for auto parts dealers. It could be for used clothing stores, used furniture, used as a trade-in exchange. And I got a great story from my first accounting course. Was back in the 80s. There was a big Fijian guy he worked for Stats Canada, and he came out and he drew a little picture of an island. He said, I'm going to tell you what economics is. And he drew a picture of an island, and he drew a little stick man on the island, and he said, this man doesn't know how to build shelter. Then he drew another island right beside it, and there's the guy on the other island he drew a little stick house. He said, this guy knows how to build houses, and this guy knows how to catch food. So they do a deal. But who's going to keep track of all of the exchange of services and goods? That's the blockchain. Yeah. This is 40 years later, but the blockchain tracks it all. And I think now you have a beautiful system, Cole, that you can work with. I know you have competitors out there, and I'm looking at your map. I think the connectivity, once these stores start barter, once they start doing business with each other and trading Bitcoin for services, etc., eventually the government's going to want their finger in the pie.
So regarding Regarding that point, the government already has crypto is fully regulated in Canada. People are like, oh, there's no regulation. It's fully regulated in Canada. And the government already does have their hand in it, but they aren't able to referee it as much as they want to, in my opinion, I think. Because when I send you, Robert, if I send you $5 in Bitcoin, if I send it to your Coinos wallet, no one in the world knows that Robert owns that Coinos wallet. It's like me giving you cash. If I give you a $5 bill in cash, no one in the planet Earth knows that I just gave you that $5 cash. But if you have like an exchange account like Binance, which you can't use in Canada anymore, but let's use Coinbase as an example because everyone knows about Coinbase. If I send you $5 to your Coinbase wallet, then yes, that is fully tracked, not hidden. The CRA knows all about it. And if they want to find what crypto holdings you have, they can go to your Coinbase account because you're doxxed with
I just thought of a great, you're doxxed. Exactly. I just thought of a great expression. Back in the day, they used to say the check's in the mail. Well, right now, the money's on the blockchain.
Yeah. And with blockchain technology, it's amazing. It's like what you said earlier, Robert, about how things can be tracked so much better, so much easier. Because what is the blockchain in one sentence? It's a digital ledger.
It's an open book accounting system.
Yeah. Exactly. Yep. That's what it is. That's what the blockchain is.
Debits and credits. 5 goes into your account, 5 comes out of my account. The old two-step ledger system.
Absolutely.
Debits and credits. I like credits better than debits, but that's all right.
It's also disrupting so many industries. Like we're looking at real estate to show who's the title owner, law. The blockchain is going to really, I think, disrupt a lot of service-based businesses that can be more autonomous and, like you said in the beginning, called decentralized, right?
So Cole, if a company like ours was going to accept crypto for our services, because we accept barter, for the anybody can Google that. I'm not going to detract from Coinos, but if we wanted to get on blockchain, how would we accept crypto as payment? How does it work mechanically? A new company signing up, how easy is it?
Great example. And I'm glad that you're asking on behalf of your company, because your company is not a typical like restaurant necessarily on downtown, right? So we have businesses of all kinds that are using us, whether it's like contractors. You mentioned that as an example earlier, Rob, right? We have landscapers using us, window installation companies using us, a boat repair companies using us, butchers, like all different kinds. Now for you as an accounting firm, all you would need to do, you create an account at coinos.io, and then people can pay you directly with Coinos. And on your transaction history of your Coinos account, if you want, we could like do a demo if you want here, and then if we have time. And on your transaction history of your Coinos wallet, there's a button that says export. So you press that button and it exports your transaction history to a CSV file, Microsoft Excel spreadsheet, and it's all broken down column by column by column in the exact way that any Canadian.
And the government doesn't have access to that.
It doesn't. They don't have access to it. Well, they would have access to the transactions, but not access to your identity, right? Yeah. So, but I mean, yeah. So the export CSV file, it makes it very easy for any accountant or bookkeeper.
So Phantom Taxes just did 10 million in revenue last year, and we're moving to the Bahamas. Adios, Trudeau. Phantom Taxes.
Phantom Taxes. I kind of like that. That's a cool name. That's a really cool name. That's a super. I'm gonna take that if you didn't already register the domain.
GoDaddy. Here we go. So you can type the fastest and get their credit card out.
That's right. Yeah, for sure. So yeah, for a business like yours, you make an account on Coinos, and then whenever you want to.
Is there any demo video? Any demo video on Coinos, or a link to the YouTube channel where you have video on how easy it is? So somebody could just go to coinos.io, sign up, and start accepting. Now, do you have integrations for web platforms, for example? We'll use us as an example, our website. On our payment options, we could put a Coinos button on there.
Absolutely, you can. Are you? Do you have a Shopify store? Is your online?
We do have a Shopify store, but it's a test site.
Okay, so we are integrated with Shopify. We are listed on Shopify's widgets as an app. Yeah.
Excellent. So what we're going to do, we're going to put you in touch with one of our bigger clients that is just launching their Shopify store. They're a restaurant base with 33 locations. and they're launching Shopify, and they do have a coin. I don't know what it is. They have a machine in their lobbies for crypto. So we won't mention names on air, but we'll set up that intro for you and see what you can do with their Shopify store.
Yeah, thanks. Yeah, they're going to be very happy with how easy it is. Yeah, yeah. We have multiple businesses using us in Vancouver, or not just Vancouver, across Canada, that are using us for their online shopping cart.
And they're all on the map. I'm looking at the map on the other screen. So it's very easy to look and reach out, ask somebody how simple it is. And Cole, how do they reach out to Cole?
Yes. So
rappercole.com or?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Rapper Cole. Rapper and Bitcoin Cole, right? So it'd be Cole at Coinos.io. You can find me on the link tree. I put the link tree in our comments here. So that's where the how to.
On the podcast edit, we'll get it in the comments below along with your bio and easy way to reach out to you for those who are interested. Now, what about somebody wanting to work with you as a referral partner? Do you have a referral program set up?
Absolutely. So it's Coinos.io/bounties. So it's our bounty program. We will give you 1 million Satoshis. Quiz right now. Do you guys know what that means? 1 million Satoshis? Yeah. Okay, what's one Satoshi?
It's like 0.000. Like I don't know the exact digits, but a lot of people that are new to the space think that you have to buy like one full Bitcoin, but it's broken down into, like you said, Satoshis.
Like the metric system, right? It's like a DNA test. There's 0.000000001 chance that you could be my brother, right? On the DNA test.
Yeah, for sure. So 1 million Satoshis is essentially 0.01 Bitcoin. So 2 decimals back. So if Bitcoin is $70,000, then 1 million Satoshis is $700. So we're giving 1 million Satoshis to anybody that onboards a qualifying business on our bounty list, which is Coinos.io/bounties. And that's our referral program right now. And then if you find certain other large businesses that are outside of the bounty program, we can work out a deal on a case-by-case basis where we can pay you for that.
So Satoshis are like pesos to the American dollar, right?
Yeah. Satoshis are I can send you 1,000 Satoshis.
But what is it? What is 1 million Satoshis worth?
Right now?
Dollar-wise, right now.
Dollar now, right now. It would be $566 US. I look at everything in,
that is epic. And are you paying that out per referral?
Per referral, correct.
Per sign up. Somebody has to sign up, ink the contract, endorse the contract.
So it's even easier now. We don't expect any sort of written contract of any kind. We would just.
But once the client signs up, you pay out the Satoshis.
Correct. We pay out 25. So we pay out 25% up front and then 75% after 6 months if the business stays on board, because we don't want to give someone 1 million Satoshis have the business.
Typical affiliate program scam. Yeah. You got enough problems in the industry without having to deal with all that.
Yeah, for sure. And then
I'm putting my dollar away.
Oh yeah, nice. That's cool.
We'll get a shot. We'll get a shot of that in the comments.
Nice. That's cool. And then so we have 100. Well, there's 96 locations in Vancouver, greater Vancouver area, from West Van to Abbotsford. There's 96 locations where you can spend Bitcoin. We account for about 45 of those are us. Wow. 46 or something are us. The other ones aren't necessarily like a main competitor. There's not really many competitors for us right now because some people just use various Bitcoin wallets, but ours is the easiest and cheapest to use. And I've been calling other merchants that are using other Bitcoin wallets. Once I show them ours, they jump on board. And then we have over 550 businesses worldwide, internationally. Robert mentioned the map earlier. The map is a really good resource to know where internationally where you can spend.
Yeah, I'm looking at the cluster in Vancouver, so lots of places you can spend your Bitcoin. So how does somebody who is a client, right, a Coinos client, walk into a store and buy a shawarma?
You would have a Bitcoin wallet of any kind. Doesn't have to be Coinos, but you have we recommend a Bitcoin Lightning wallet, Bitcoin Lightning. And then you walk into the shawarma, you tell them what you want. The cashier just types in her normal cash transaction on her cashier. She just types in like normal. you see the amount come up, $12.87. So you type in $12.87 on your Coinos wallet, and it sends that to them. You don't have to worry about the Bitcoin denomination. Like, we do that for you on the back end. You just got to type in the Canadian dollar amount on your Coinos wallet. Then you press the send button. It gets sent to the merchant. They have a printer. We set up businesses with printers. As soon as a Bitcoin transaction enters their wallet, the printer, which is very small, it's like that big, it prints out a receipt in the Canadian dollar amount to verify that the payment went through. It's seamless. Most cashiers and waitresses have no clue about Bitcoin and have no experience with Bitcoin. The majority of people that use us have no experience with Bitcoin. And
there you have it. Coinos.io, simpler than buying a cup of coffee.
Yeah.
That was
Yeah,
the old ING Direct commercials.
Right.
Yeah, paying off your
Nice.
mortgage, simpler than buying a cup of coffee.
Yeah, for sure.
It is simple. I think it's just getting people on board. Like Quinton's an early adopter. Simon Sinek, great example, of early adopters of people that line up for an iPhone for 3 days and camp out on the street when you could just wait one more day and buy it, without waiting in line. But then you got those, the majority that come on afterwards, but you got to get the early adopters. And I think you're past that stage now with the 500 plus across Canada. It's just getting momentum.
It's 550 internationally outside of Canada as well.
Okay.
Yes, we have other leaders of other Bitcoin communities around the world that I'm talking to, and I'm educating them how to onboard businesses. So that's the way that, and I know you guys know this, but I'm going to say it anyways for the viewers, that the way to have explosive company when you're trying to expand is by connecting with other leaders of other communities. That's how you have the explosive growth, right? You can't just talk to 1,000 people. It doesn't work that way. You talk to leaders of 300 people and another leader with 500 people, a leader with 500 people. And that's how, so I'm doing a lot of that, talking to leaders in different countries and stuff. Yeah.
That's awesome, man. Very smart. I love it. I guess no one would want this question not to be asked, so I got to ask it. What's the prediction for the price point of Bitcoin? How high do you think it will go ultimately?
So
this year, let's say this year, let's go 2024 by December.
Okay, by this year, I would say 85,000 American, 85,000, or let's do like 82,000. But and again, like, I giving predictions is so hard because we don't know what's going to happen, right?
Of course,
it's very hard. But I would say 82,000 this year, and I would say all-time high will be Q3 or Q4 of 2025 will be the all-time high, I think.
Yeah, but that's like saying what's at the end of space,
and what number
at the end of the universe? Like, how it will continue to grow unless it gets out.
Yeah, I think a lot of people think Bitcoin's going to like easy 150K per coin. I don't think it's easy for it to do that, and I don't think it will. I think we'll barely crack 100K US. 100K, 105K. I hope I'm wrong. I really hope I'm wrong. But when you just look at how big Bitcoin is right now and how liquidity cycles work, everyone should understand the basis of global liquidity cycles. Global liquidity index is a really good chart for people to look at. And we are in the summer season of the global liquidity index. So what does that mean? It means it is most likely, not financial advice, a good time to buy high risk on assets during the summer of the global liquidity index. So the winter was obviously 2022. We're in an election year right now. US election year is always bullish overall for all markets.
As Cancer crosses Pisces on the chart, Bitcoin, Cole says, is going to reach 105 US. You heard it here first, folks, on the Side Hustle. Cole, favorite book for our listeners, one of your top books that you can recommend, either spiritual, self-improvement, financial book.
I would say, sure, yeah, please. The Compound Effect by Darren Hardy is a phenomenal self-help book. I've read it. I've bought multiple copies and I've handed them out to multiple people. And then another book is Rich Dad Poor Dad by Robert Kiyosaki. Those are my two main ones. Yeah, Rich Dad Poor Dad by Robert Kiyosaki. There's a reason why it sold so many tens and tens of millions of copies. There's a reason why, because what it talks about works, and it's written in a very basic level of English. That's why it's so easy for a lot of people to understand.
Robert Kiyosaki wrote it. That's why.
Yeah. He doesn't use big fancy words, which is good. Like that's the sign of a really good teacher, someone that doesn't use extremely fancy words every second sentence, right? You want to be using very basic English, and Robert Kiyosaki
Like me,
is good at that.
basic English.
Yeah.
I saw an interview with him where a big kind of professional writer was saying, you're not a typical, or you
Author.
shouldn't have been. Yeah, exactly. And he's like, I'm the best selling author. I'm not the best author, but he knows how to sell and market, right? And like you said, he makes it so easily available and readable for people, where a lot of authors, you start reading all these old English literature, and you're like, I can't read this, and you put it down, right? So yeah, it's an interesting spin on it. But yeah, man, I appreciate it. We appreciate it, Cole. And as they say, to the moon, right? To the moon.
Yeah, to the moon hashtag. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Cool.
Okay, we'll have all the links, everything you can read up about Cole and Coinos.io in the link here, or the links, sorry, it'll be in the chat area on the podcast posts and on our social media replays, our reels. We'll get lots of that going on. Any final words, Cole, for the listeners, those who want to reach out? Anything, tell them not to hesitate. What's the final word?
It's better to hold an asset that goes up in value long term than an asset that only goes down in value and never up in value, which is the dollar.
Never been wiser words.
Yeah, great.
Awesome.
Okay,
Awesome.
have a good one.
Have a good
Thanks,
one, guys. Side hustle out for another one in the bag here. We'll see you on the other side, Cole. See you at the top.
See ya.